Hey, if you don't happen to know who I am, my name is Reece and I'm the owner and founder of Define. And today we are doing tutorial number 4 with our Tans palette. So as I'm recording this, we're 2 days away from launch, but I know we've probably already launched it by the time, I've recorded everything. So I'm really excited again to see all the amazing looks that you guys create, because obviously I'm just giving you some ideas of what to do with the palette, but really you get to make it your own and create all of your own looks, because Define is all about defining beauty for you. Now, in today's tutorial, we are going to do something a little bit more bold. So it's not quite as bold as things we can do with the browns palette. However, they're more on the bold side for the specific Tans palette. But first things first, what you're gonna need on hand is a fluffy crease brush, your Essentials palette, and your Tans palette. So again, my Ratchet Essentials palette is making its debut, and I'm going to grab that cream color with my fluffy crease brush, tap off any excess, and you're just going to pat press this from the start of your brow all the way up to the arch. Essentially, I don't know that I've actually explained this in any of the tutorials, but this white or cream color from the Essentials palette just puts up, I don't know what that was, puts up a barrier so that when we do play with darker colors, they're not going into the inner corner of the eye and you're not getting that raccoony kind of look. I just made that word up, so enjoy that. But now we have our barrier set, and the entire rest of the tutorial is going to be with the Tans palette. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that white shade with our fluffy crease brush, load that up, tap off any excess, and pat press this just right on the tail of the brow, so from the arch all the way down the tail and in the inner corner of the eye. I like to do all of the light colors first because it's pretty important to make sure you get that brightness before you add all the darker colors, because the first thing that hits your eyeshadow primer is going to be the strongest in that area. So I did forget to mention that, but I do have eyeshadow primer on. You can probably see it creasing. So if that happens to you, you can just take your finger and warm it up. But that eyeshadow primer is gonna give us a really solid base for our eyeshadow, and it's gonna last a lot longer. It's not gonna crease, which not creasing is a blessing, honestly. Okay, next color we're going to grab is going to be our matte tan. So loading that up, tapping it off, and we're gonna pat press the first 50%, and then we're blending up towards the start of the brow the rest of the way. So now we have that placed, and we're going to go over here, same thing, pat press, and blend the rest of the way. The key to eyeshadow is place and then blend. So I'm gonna take my fluffy crease, swipe it on a towel, and blend. Notice the motion again is tiny back and forth eraser motions coming from my fingers, not my wrist, not my elbow, and I'm using super light pressure too, because the harder you push with your eyeshadow, the more pigment you're going to lose. So if you've ever done your eyeshadow and you're like, oh my gosh, Reece, I can't even see the color anymore, check your pressure. You might be blending way too harshly. I don't know, harshly, whatever, it's a word. But just check your pressure, because that could be causing you to lose a lot of pigment in your eyeshadow when you put it on. Okay, next color we're going to grab is our matte brown here. I love that this would traditionally be called the intensifier in a palette because it's darkest color, but I love that it's not super deep and I'm not afraid of it, because sometimes with palettes, like I've used straight up shimmery blacks and those are scary. Those can go wrong real fast. But I love in the Tans palette how just neutral that brown is, and it's easy to use. Doesn't really scare me. So we are going to pat press this all over the eyelid space itself, not going any higher. So I'm not hitting my brow bone with it, but I am just making sure I pat press that all along my eye, inverting the brush just to make sure it gets close to the lash line. And voila, now that is placed. Same thing over here, pat press. I'm gonna load some more of this up here, making sure we get really close to that lash line. Fun fact, when I did my mascara today and then my eyes were watering when I put my contacts in. I should have put my contacts in the mascara, but anyways, it kind of made my mascara clump, so I'm gonna have to go work with that a little bit later. So fun fact of the day for you. All right, now we have that one place as well. I'm going to take my fluffy crease brush, swipe it on a towel, and then we're just gonna blend that top where it meets the tan color. Really gentle back and forth motions. Again, not a lot of pressure. And then we're gonna blend the side as well where it meets out there. Same thing over here. Blending the top very gently where it meets the tan, and then blending the side. Also, if your eyelids crease at any point, I need to blend this real fast. If your eyelids crease at any point, or you feel like your skin just kind of like folds over, when you're applying your eyeshadow, you can take your finger and you're just gonna lift at the tail of your brow very gently, and then that gives you a lot more space to work with. So if you ever have issues with that, that's a quick little trick that you can do. Okay, now let me see if I can find my precision crease brush. Awesome, I can. So now we're going to kind of create that halo in the under eye. So precision crease brush is what we're gonna use. Very tiny little thing. And then we're gonna grab more of our brown here, and we are going to bring that, kind of scribbling it in the under eye, going 50% of the way over, and then stopping. Same thing over here, scribble, 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 50% of the way over, and stop. Now we're going to switch to a fluffy crease brush. Make sure you swipe that on a towel, take it off any loose powder, and then we're gonna blend, blend, blend towards the inner corner of your eye. So this is just gonna give it a really nice, soft, smoked out halo, so it's nothing super intense. I used to go all the way into the inner corner of my eye, and I did not love how round it made it look. So I've switched to this technique, and hands down, it's been my favorite ever since. So I'm just blending it right on the base of it. You can also blend it on the side here where it meets the actual eyelid to make sure they're connected, there's no disconnection. Check everything over, and voila! That is tutorial number 4 with the Tans palette. So this is definitely one that's just a smidge more bold. It's not crazy bold, but yes, it's definitely not one of the neutral ones where you're just using tans on your eye. You are using a little bit more of the brown scheme. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I will see you for tutorial number 5, and thanks for watching.